Welcome to the Keelhauled podcast. I'm your host, CaptainLogun, and we've got a lot of Sea of Thieves news to cover today, so tie yourselves to the mast and hold fast. Ahoy there, pirates. I hope you had yourselves a good week and a good weekend. I know I did. This week, we're going to be talking with the Gold Hoarders. They are the patrons of this podcast, and we're going to be chatting with a couple of them to sit down and talk about Sea of Thieves, its current state, what's going to happen, some possibilities surrounding the mystery. We are in the third week of the mystery, and we still don't know the code. It has been very difficult. There's been some really good hints from the CM team over at Rare. They've been trying to support us in getting this done. We are stumped. I still haven't gotten it done, but I have some fantastic folks to sit down and chat with that about to see how they're feeling, what they think is going on, some of the lore possibilities going on with the mystery as well too, and looking forward to Sea of Thieves and the coming up Xbox showcase. We think there's something going on. We don't know, but we're going to have some fun chatting about it. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. But before I get into any of that, I have to thank the patrons. Why? Because they're the ones that went over to patreon.com/Keelhauled podcast to show their support for the content that I'm putting out for the Sea of Thieves community as a whole. They are the ones that are helping me get to SOT Fest with my wife. They're the ones that are helping me getting to the Fest of Legends. They're the ones that feel like this content is actually worth something. And if you feel that way, you're more than welcome to join up. There's no pressure to do so. Everything that this does is my hobby. This is my passion project. So I'm doing this because it's what makes me happy at the end of the day. And I love talking about Sea of Thieves with everyone. I love sitting down to play with folks. And I love following the studio to kind of keep an eye on seeing where like Rare is going to go. And I'm hoping that we'll get some of that news this week, or I guess in a couple weeks, on June 11th, which, by the way, before I get into call outs, I have to say I'm going to be doing a kind of a reactions video with my co-host who does the Xbox expansion pass, Luke Lore. We are going to be partnering up with the PlayStation Trophy Room with Kyle Stevens and Joseph Moran. They are going to be live streaming it. I'm going to be jumping in with them. We're going to sit down. We're going to have some fun. We're going to joke about. We're going to check out the announcements. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be there because well, for one, I'm on the Xbox show, but for two, I know Sea of Thieves. I know Sea of Thieves. I know Rare. I know what they've been working on. I have some good ideas about what they're going to do. We talk about it this episode. I'm excited for it, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. So anyway, I have to thank the patrons. They're the ones that are supporting me. It means the world to me that they do this, and I love that they do this. I appreciate the heck out of it. Even if they can't make it, anyone that is supporting at the highest tier has access to the Gold Hoarder channel. You can jump in, you can chat with us. If you have any questions about how to get that all connected up, or any questions about how it all works and stuff like that, feel free to ask. You're always more than welcome to join into the Discord as well too. So thank you to People's Republic, El Cute, Balls, Bam Bam Bagel, Captain Chonky, Chateau Noof, Super Pack, Zombie Killer, Cloud, Cosmic Johnson, Static Mirror, Davram TV, El Jefe Esteban, Fergatron, Godhammer 6, Trickster, Jabaro 5, Jorby Jorbs, Carl Embo, Kazia the Aficionado, Nightstar, Lumpy SRQ, Evil Morpheus, Michael V, Xbox Mike 29, Murphy Lives, Mutinous Max, Norwegian, Raja the Brave, Registella, Replicated Flame, Rustbell Kid, Skamelt 666, Captain Dasm, Tommy D, TN Professor, Real Big Tuna, Big Bad Pad, Mina Fairy, Captain J Rat of the Flaming Sore, Cold Sore even, The Lore Chronologist Deadeye Dre, Heger Owl, Jeff H, Ghost Boy 20, Evil Martha, Peter Miller, Rooski Doo, Thor Von Blitz, Windsor Chris, and Zam Wow. Thank you all again so much. Your support really does mean the world to me. It always brings me joy. It always lets me know that I'm appreciated, and that the time and energy that I put into the show matters to you, and you show it, and I appreciate it. So thank you for everything, including everything that you guys have always ever done for me for outside of just the Patreon. I really do. So I appreciate the heck out of it. But anyway, I get to sit down with Regis Stella and Xbox My 29 this week. We have a really good conversation. I have a really good time with them. We chat for pretty much the whole time about Sea of Thieves, some thoughts, some perspectives. We dive a lot into Monkey Island because I'm really curious. Like, will Monkey Island make an appearance this week? Or this upcoming season with season 10? So very interesting to kind of sit down and talk with them about it, to kind of figure out, like, what could Rare be working on if it's not Pirates of the Caribbean 2. But I'll go listen to the rest of the show. You guys, I don't have to sit here and preface it, but anyway, love you all. Bye. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. We're not in the episode yet. Well, what does that mean? Why would you be listening to this part right now if you didn't want the code? Did you want the code? You must want the code. This is the code. This is the Obsidian Sails, the Eye of Reach, and the Fishing Pole code. So this is the first one. So if you're listening to this now, you can head over to Microsoft and go to the redeem code portion, and you'll be able to get this code. Whoever listens to it first, it's first comes, first serve. So best of luck out there. It is HR2CM727CKGHVG. Best of luck out there. We'll probably have another one in the rest of the show. You never know. There could be a couple more, but if you need that code, definitely use it. Welcome to the latest community episode for the Keelhauled podcast. This weekend is probably one of the roughest weekends for Americans, at least, to be recording right now. It is beautiful outside. It is a 3-day weekend. Most people took Friday off, so it's a 4-day weekend for them. And everyone is out doing stuff. So right now we're in the thick of the Hoarders hunt. And this week I have two folks joining for the community episode. We've got Regis Stella and Xbox Mike 29. Regis, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Published a new chapter of my fanfic, and surprisingly, to my surprise at least, it got featured on the website that I wrote on the...
Fantastic. That's awesome. No pun intended. Yeah. Congrats on that.
Yeah, thank you, Logan.
And with us also is Xbox Mike 29. Xbox Mike, or Mike Mick, however you prefer to say it. I'm going to keep bugging you about that. How you doing?
Yeah, it really bugs you, that, doesn't it? I answer to both, so it really does matter. I tend to say Nick when I'm saying the gamer tag. Nick 29 just sounds better, but my name is Mike, so I answer to both, so I'm not bothered.
It's a weird conundrum that I have, because my gamer tag is Logan, but my name is also Logan, so I make it pretty clear, like, Logan's the one you should probably go with. I don't know about Captain.
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta say right now, I'm flustered. We've had 2 weeks of Hoarder hunt. We've had 2 weeks where each weekend we've gotten it knocked out. Rare has had to put out so many different little teases now at this point that they're like, oh my God, you guys still haven't figured it out. Usually you've got it in the first 3 days. What is going on? I don't know what to do at this point. We're working on it, but it's going okay. And it's all coming back to Pigpen and what 3 words and parrot words and stuff. And I'm losing my absolute mind. Are you guys keeping up with this? Are you guys doing anything to contribute, or anything that you've been kind of looking at to? Regis, what do you got?
I've been just observing the whole thing while watching people bang their heads against the bloody wall. Like you.
Well, I'm glad I could have give you the opportunity. Have you done the mysteries yet?
No, I'm not, because I'm a bit of a dummy when it comes to, like,
What about the voyages?
Yeah, no, I'm only here for the lore implications.
Oh,
maybe
gotcha.
The last mystery, but maybe the last part, but who knows? Maybe hate.
You can still jump in to do the voyages to get the cosmetics and the titles and the gold if you want to do that. Like, that's, because we have the codes for the first couple weeks, so that's easy. Like you can just plug the codes in for the first couple weeks, and then you get access to the voyages. So like if you want to do that, like that's easy.
Yeah, but I think I got like, I don't know, 50 million gold pieces in my treasure. So I am good on the gold front. I don't need a freaking gold hoarder skull in real life, to be honest.
Well, there is one that's in game. What about that? That unbalanced?
I'm good.
Oh man, dang!
Man, yeah, hard to please, man.
I know. I'm trying to like think like, okay, well, maybe if he doesn't go for the mystery, maybe the gold. No, not the gold. Well, what about the memento? No, not the memento. Just the lore. Dang it. Okay.
Yeah, I want to know who H is, if he's Hook or not.
Me
no,
too.
that will piss off. So,
I'm very curious. Who do you think it's A, or do you think it's Hook?
Honestly, it could just be an alias at this point. Sure, it could be like Hogarth from the Humphrey Origin comics, because comics are canon to the game, as well as the novels. So it could, but then again, it could just be H could just be an alias to get on the side with the Gold Hoarders. Because if you don't know, every person that works with the Gold Hoarders has H has H in their name.
Yep.
At least their name, like Humphrey, Hogarth, Henry, and stuff like that. Makes sense.
True. Could be. I've got a couple suspicions as well. Let me tap into Mike here. Mike, we have been like day one Saturdays jumping on doing the voyages. We've been having a good time of it, and I gotta say, for those of you that don't know, if you haven't sailed with Xbox Mike, first off, what's wrong with you? Secondly, he does it on like Tuesdays for Sea of Tuesdays. You've been jumping in with me. We've been doing the voyages. We've run into some very interesting folks and stuff. How are you feeling about the mystery voyages, or the mystery in general right now?
Well, first of all, thanks for the little plug there. That was very nice of you. I've actually been having a bit of trouble recently, but it's been through the OBS streaming side of it, and I've now decided to just cop for Streamlabs, and everything is good. Man, that program's so much easier to use.
It really is, yeah.
But yeah, it really is. So that's that. Thank you very much for that. We have been having a great time. It's been good fun. It's been nice. It's been weird that this hasn't been planned between us. We just kind of both came on, probably because we were both keeping up with what was going on, and it was just as it had been sort of solved. Just so happened that both times we've managed to just be on at the same time. So we've managed to go through, and certainly struggled sort of a bit more with the first one, but the second one was a bit more straightforward and easier to sort of understand. I
take the fault on that one though. Like that first one, like I thought I knew what a rung was. I was pushing us in that direction. When you called it out, like it made so much more sense when I was just looking at what you were saying, and I was like, dang it, yeah, that's smart.
but even so, I didn't know what a rung was either, so I had to just go with what you said. I assumed you knew what you were talking about, so I'm just like, yeah, that made sense. With what you said, it made sense. But then when we came back, and obviously because I'd read ahead on the story and the book, which I always read the whole thing and then go back and try and break it down again.
Yeah.
There was bits that just weren't making sense, and when we went back to that point, and then we looked across, and you went, "Oh no, the 3 and the 1 is the 3 trees and the 1." And I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense," and we were on the right path. And obviously, then we got the pleasure of bumping into Emil as well, so that was good from Rare Thief.
Yeah. Really fun.
That was a bonus. That was a good time. But yeah, I'm the whole this thing. I've been following it. I'd love to say I've sort of contributed, but I really haven't. A lot of this is just way over my head.
Me too.
Sometimes I get ideas and then I look at it and go, "Yeah, that was terrible. I'm glad I didn't say anything."
You know what though?
So,
there's been some crazy ideas, because I've been hanging out in the Ancient Isle University Discord and the Sea of Thieves official one, and the ideas that have been coming through are so harebrained, but you have to entertain them, because what if one of them leads to the answer? And because of that, everything has been explored. So
yeah,
even if you have an idea that you're like, it could be this, that doesn't make total sense, but at least share it, so that if it does kind of, because you never know, when you're brainstorming ideas, sometimes people build off of other people's failures, and you just think about like, okay, well, my idea didn't work, but hopefully me giving this to the community will push someone to think differently about what they're currently working on. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, the only thing in this recent one I'd come up with, obviously it's about cards, isn't it? And
kind of,
we were talking about the different. So yeah, the clue is kind of sort of hinting towards cards and things like that. And and I sort of thought the word that came to mind straight away that I had to go straight on the website and just try and put on was deckhand. Because you get decks and hands in cards, and I thought it can't be that obvious. It wasn't, but it just popped into my head. And I thought, can you imagine if it was right? I just got it right in the first bit. That would have been just mental. But yeah, I've been a few words that I've read through it and tried to sort of figure out and tried to sort of come up with something. But you go back and look at some of the previous weeks, and actually, when you read those clues, they're pretty far fetched from what the answer was, like outcast and stuff in the elite speak and things like that. It's like, no, I was nowhere near that.
They've done a good job.
They've done a good job. Me and Regis were talking about this in the chat before we started, but they've done a good job, I think, of keeping this quite, because obviously there's physical prizes.
Yeah,
they don't want everyone to just be able to get this. They want those that really try and really are clever at sort of figuring this stuff out to earn it. And I get that, but for the rest of us, we are just sitting there going, "Wow, I just don't know what's going on."
That's why I've kept my distance.
That's fair.
Luckily, Nintendo were good enough to bring out Zelda while this was going on, so I can watch it whilst playing Zelda. It's been quite good. The best of both worlds.
Oh man, God,
that was Zelda. Very good of Nintendo. So thank you, Nintendo, for bringing it out at the same time.
Very considerate. That. You know what? It's
very considerate.
A sacrifice that not many would have made.
Yeah.
Do you two mind if I kind of dig through, because I love to kind of go through the mystery letter so that at least folks have an idea of what we're talking about with this third one, right? Because you brought up deckhand, and I think deckhand is a brilliant. I never thought of deckhand. I thought of like wanted. I thought of like cheater. I thought of like typical card things, right? So we got a letter from H, who I'm would be cool if it's Hook. I was thinking, Regis, what do you think of the idea before I dive into this? What do you think? Because I was thinking like this latest one, and I'll kind of dive into it. It talks about a tornado and stuff. I was thinking of Horus as a potential, because do you remember with the first mystery with DeMarco's death, we got stuck at a point trying to figure out, like, there was another person, and it ended up being was it an F name or an H name? I think it might have been an H name as well too, but there was a someone in the Sea of Thieves that we had to go talk to, and it started with T. That's right.
T. That was the one.
It was him from the
Devil's
from
Thirst
the seaport at It was one of the seaport, one of the sea posts in the Raw.
Yeah, there was
Brian's Bazaar. It's the other guy that's at the.
Well, I thought it was. It was in the Roar. It was one of the guys in the Roar, but it was not a common name that we were thinking about, because we usually associate the vendors with their letter name, and we had talked to everyone and none of them made sense, and finally it was worked out. So I don't think we have to go talk to Horus as like the Ashen Lord, but what if H used to be a gold hoarder that we just don't know about?
Yeah, this is what I was saying this before. Whatever, it's the only guess I had, because I had no idea who it was. Obviously, a lot of us started with maybe it being Hook, but like you said in last week's episode, or maybe even the week before, it doesn't would feel odd for it to be Hook and be introduced into the game in this way.
Yeah,
it could be. It still could be. There could be some big twists, and it all makes sense, but at the moment, it still feels weird for it to be Hook,
or they can throw a curveball, like say maybe just being, say, Rathbone, for all we know, just like they did with the previous mystery being Iron Queen, which makes no sense, to be honest, looking back on it now.
Rathbone's middle name turns out to be that Henry or something. Yeah, it's like, oh, come on.
Rathbone Henry something.
What was his first name? I'm blinking on Rathbone's first name.
I think that's his first name, Rathbone.
Was it?
I don't think we ever got clarification.
Oh God! I feel like I got to go back and read.
Now I feel like we need to know. Yeah.
now you can go back and read Athena's.
Oh, you know what? I bet I bet I know who's got that info. I bet the Sea of Thieves wiki probably has it.
Definitely. But I was saying, like, it would be, the guess that I had was, it felt like it might be somebody who used to be a gold hoarder that is no longer a gold hoarder but still has connections to the people who are gold hoarders, and for one reason or another is no longer part of it. So yeah, that was the only guess that I had.
Yeah.
That is about where my guesses go with that. Unfortunately,
wouldn't it make sense? Like, because I mean, if you look at the code words, like the code words were outcast and two-faced.
Yes.
Like Rathbone was two-faced. He was an outcast from the Magpie Wings crew. Like, it would be silly for the Gold Hoarder to be quote unquote resurrected for a third time, but it would also be. Are
you sure about that? You really want to go there?
It would be really in line with what Rare does. I mean, it's what they do. Nothing's really dead in the Sea of Thieves, right?
Even the undead.
Yeah, the undead somehow come back. I don't know how. Even though, what was it? Flameheart Jr. was on the verge of being destroyed because he fell down off a cliff.
Fell
off a cliff.
The comics take some mighty liberations with, because it's third party, lore, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Interpretations.
Still canon though.
So
still gotta respect it.
Yep.
I mean, sure. Whatever floats your boat. Literally.
Well,
I'm sensing some resentment.
No, not resentment, just questionality, I guess.
Oh, that's fair. I mean,
rightly so.
You're always welcome to question how. I mean, there's plenty of stuff I would say like we've seen in Sea of Thieves that have kind of been counter to what they've stated, or the lore hasn't always been 100% locked down in making sense, right? So there's always some weird stuff from time to time, but if they say it's lore and it's canon, we still gotta deal with it. I can't find Rathbone's full name. I could have swore we had this information, but it does not look like that is the case.
I mean, it's been what, 4? Yeah, it's been like what, 4 years since Flameheart was introduced to the game, and we still don't know what his real name is, other than Flameheart.
We'll call him Frankie Flameheart.
I mean, it's rare, so it might as well work.
Who knows? So going back to the Hoarder's hunt. Let me dive into the letter, and I'll vamp while Mike digs into to Rathbone's full name, if that's available. Maybe I need to hit up Chris Alcock. Maybe that's a thing. Anyway,
probably.
The letter goes on to say, "I see you're using others in my enigmatic quest," which is a fantastic word. "I warn you, hoarders, that about my rules I do not jest. As when playing card games, keep our secrets close to your chest." This letter is so Yoda, it's hard to read. Like I have done personally, you must your time invest. Don't spy huge tornado, but smallest cloud up in the sky. The devil and answers lie in detail, and so do I. Swear your hearts to my club, and so you can find my hoard. Sorry, it looks like a B. Ready your spades to uncover your diamond-like reward. Isn't that weird? What a weird letter to me.
Sounds like the dragon from Dragon's Dogma.
It's a reference I don't get, but I'm glad that we somehow pulled in Dragon's Dogma.
The sequel just got announced like about a few days ago, so why the hell not?
It's on everyone's mind. But so like the Horus thing, The line says, "Don't spy huge tornado, but smallest cloud up in the sky." Made me think of the Ashen tornadoes, right? And then Horus. We do have a Horus as an Ashen Lord, so it's a dumb connection, but it's one that I would love to see if that's the actual thing. But it's so hard to know with these. Like, what is the truth? Where is the truth going to land?
It sounds more like, it sounds like there's another H that's part of the Ashen Laws, like Old Horatio, but I don't know. I just see Gold Hoarders.
I was saying Horus, wasn't I?
Yeah, Horus, but that could be like
Horatio. That's what I meant.
Yeah, Horatio, yeah.
That's what I meant. Thank you. I'm glad you brought that up.
I mean, I don't know. It's just at this point, it's just racking my brain, just trying to figure out who H is.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't blame you.
Confusing.
So right now we've got, I want to say it's at least 30 to 50 portraits. I've heard that I haven't caught up on today's news because they usually been teasing us a little bit on Saturday if we were getting stuck. But the community is fervor. With excitement about trying to figure out what the latest bit is. And after this, I'll probably have to catch up and work it out to help out where I can. But for the time being, everyone is crushing some of these different clues and stuff. And it looks like everything is going back to Pigpen. In this third week, it looks like everything is kind of taking into account the first 2 weeks worth of clues and different methods of uncovering parts of the puzzle. So if that's true, then I have a feeling that week 4 is going to be absolutely insane. It is going to be super complex. They're going to use all the tricks that they've been teaching us over the last 3 weeks. And I see it being a very hard thing for individuals to crack without a lot of help from the community.
Yeah, considering what we got so far from the mystery, like the 3 parts so far, and what Falcor said when he did the recap of the first part of the mystery, like, if this is part 1, there's still 3 more to go, and now there's only 1 more to go. So good luck, I guess.
Yeah. It is definitely going to be a true testament to the puzzle solving community for that final week. And it's been really fun to do the voyages, because the voyages, and maybe Mike, maybe you can kind of speak to this and not. I feel like these in-game voyages remind me a lot of the Tall Tale books that we had for the first Tall Tale set that we got. Am I crazy on that, or would you agree?
No, definitely. Yeah, this it's got that kind of Art of the Trickster, and the other one,
Stars,
the one that you get off. Yes, Stars of the Thief. I was going to say it's the one that you get off Suds, where you have to sort of stand in places with your back against things and look towards certain locations and all the rest of it. And yeah, there's definitely inspiration from the Tall Tales missions there. And I, for one, am all for it because I really like the Tall Tales. I'd love to see more Tall Tales.
Yeah. Speaking of Tall Tales, we've got the Xbox showcase on just around the corner, and it would be very interesting to see, given how they've stopped with the cinematics for the different adventures. They've completely stopped all of the adventures. We haven't had an adventure. When was the last adventure? It was the second part to the Briggsy.
I think it was either February or January.
Yeah, top of the year.
So yeah.
And I expected us to get one at the beginning of season 9, honestly. Like that's
me too.
I figured we'd be getting.
A lot of people did.
So it's been a hot minute, gents. And with the Xbox showcase coming up and them stopping the cinematics for the adventures that they were working on, and them pausing on the adventures altogether, we knew that they had the mystery to do, and this mystery is ending right about the same time that the Xbox showcase happens. I'm starting to want to entertain the idea of a Pirates of the Caribbean 2 set of Tall Tales, because I don't know what that cinematic team would be doing if they aren't creating a big, cool, fantastic trailer to really show off like a big update to Sea of Thieves. And I don't know if that's Flameheart I don't know if that's H. I don't know if that's like Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know if it's like Hook coming in with the captain. I'm at this point, I'm open to just about anything. So I wanted to ask you two, what are your biggest hopes for the Xbox showcase with Sea of Thieves being so light on like big events and stuff, or like in game?
Honestly, at this point, I have no bloody clue. Much like the mystery.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, like, say, well, Mike Chapman did say he wanted to do another crossover with another pirate game franchise like Monkey Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that he said that to you specifically, Logan, that he wanted to do Monkey Island. So that will be the next logical choice. Like, we had Jack Sparrow, now Guybrush Threepwood, Captain Hook, Assassin's Creed, One Piece. At this point, Rare's opened the doors for potential crossovers, like a pirate version of Fortnite, if you will.
I know because I have Mr. Chapman favorited on Xbox.
Really?
I know that at some point recently he went back to the latest Monkey Island game.
Return to Monkey Island, you say?
So he's definitely still a fan of playing that on a regular basis.
I haven't played it yet, but I know how much of a success that game is.
Yeah. It's a fantastic game. I actually got stuck on that one too. I'm at a point where I have no clue how to progress. I need to look up a guide or something. But beautiful game.
Hit me up. I'll help you.
Okay. Perfect.
I would agree. Yeah, I seen Mike playing it as well. It's not something it's not something that he said to just you. I've had conversations with him when we were at EGX. Me and Paddy had quite a long conversation with numerous people that were there, and Mike kind of sourced information about what if big if, you know, obviously he's not going to say for sure, but big if they were to do one, what would you want to see from a Monkey Islands sort of expansion to Sea of Thieves? So there was a lot of talk and a lot of input that went on that day with me, Paddy, and several of the members of the Sea of Thieves community that were very excited and very sort of talkative about it. So I would hedge my bets if it's not this year, because it has, you know, we know. How long did it take? Actually, you know this, Logan, because you probably listened to what he said when they talked about it. How long did it take them from the concept of going to Disney and talking about Pirates of the Caribbean to actually bringing it to us? Do you know the time frame?
It was about 2 years of talks and production, with about a year's worth for production alone.
So with that said, I could imagine this will be quicker. And one thing that Mike did say to us was that the Disney bit was the difficult bit. Well, the Pirates of the Caribbean bit, I should say, was the difficult bit.
Yeah. Because
Jerry Bruckheimer is involved.
Yeah.
And getting Jerry Bruckheimer to answer his emails is not easy, apparently. So a lot of it comes down to, like, we asked where Jack the Monkey was and why we didn't get it. And there was a lot of things that were proposed, but when they spoke to somebody at Disney, they said you would have to get Jerry's, because that's sort of his design.
His idea.
Actual design is his idea. So you're going to have to get his permission to use it first. And Disney's response was, you're probably best off just coming up with your own design, because by the time you get an okay, it'll be too late and you won't get a chance to do it.
Yeah.
So that was the delay for a lot of stuff, and I feel that's why this stuff we've just got recently has finally come through. Now let's hope let's hope that that's the first wave of new stuff that might come. But I do think that the Jerry Bruckheimer delay is what caused us to not get a lot of stuff in the Pirates Life stuff, in the Pirates Life expansion. And the other thing he said was the people from Monkey Islands, obviously LucasArts, because they're already a game, and because they were asked by another game company that they wanted to put their game into a pirate game, their response was, "Oh my god, yes, please," was literally their response.
Yeah.
And his words were, it's much quicker and easier to get a game into a game than it is to get a film into a game.
I believe it.
So if it doesn't come this year, I'll be disappointed, but not completely surprised. I do think, though, that probably by next year, almost definitely. But I would say, because he said it's quicker, much quicker.
Yeah.
My bet would be on a Monkey Island expansion. If I had to put money on anything for Sea of Thieves expansion, I would put it on being a Monkey Island one.
Yeah, me too.
Not a Pirates of the Caribbean one.
Yeah, I mean, I really want Jack Sparrow to come back because, he promised he'll come back. But, there's other pirate franchises out there, popular ones at least. They could be just any one of those things could just be like a worthy crossover, just not One Piece. That series is getting crazy with Luffy going Toon Force.
That is a realm I am not a part of, but I can definitely get behind the Monkey Island thing. So with because I mean, Regis, you bring up a strong point. Jack Sparrow did say that he would be back. We did get at least a not a time frame, but an idea that they did want to revisit Pirates of the Caribbean at some point. It was very interesting that we just recently got more Pirates of the Caribbean cosmetics in the Emporium. Definitely could be something that it was a relationship thing that just it took a while to get that kind of approval. It would be kind of interesting if the Tall Tales introduced us to Monkey Island, but actually Monkey Island, like one of the Tall Tales, like Jack Sparrow comes back and we have to travel out to go try and figure out what his next adventure is. And it takes us to Monkey Island where we find Guybrush and LeChuck kind of fighting over, treasure and stuff like that. Obviously LeChuck being the proper pirate. Just something akin to that, I would imagine. And I would love to see if we could actually get some full-fledged Monkey Island cosmetics like LeChuck's ship, Murray, things like that, really lean into Guybrush's cosmetics and I'm blanking on her name. I think it was Amelia.
Governor Elaine Malley, I think.
Yes.
Governor Malley. Yeah, Elaine Malley.
Thank you. Leaning into their cosmetics, their outfits, get some real love for Monkey Island. What is this the second code? Ladies and gentlemen, pirates of all types, this is the second code. I hope you've been listening to the episode and enjoying it. We're having a short little break now. And with this break, I have to tell you, thank you to El Jefe Esteban for the code. Your Obsidian code is 2YPJX8GD4XJ790DW6QDRKCYZ. Hope you guys are enjoying this episode, and shout out to our sponsor this week, Ovaltine. As a franchise brought into Sea of Thieves, get the flaming beard. Wouldn't that tell me those?
Don't do this. Don't do this to me, Logan. Seriously.
No, we're in fantasy land right now. We're in fantasy land. We're going all out. Monkey Island is coming. What bigger, it would be such a piratey thing to do, such a rare thing to do, to have a full-on Monkey Island expansion to Sea of Thieves the way they did. Because Pirates of the Caribbean was 2020, correct? I'm not crazy about that, right? It hit
2021. Yeah.
Was it 2021?
Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, nearly down to the month.
Okay, so Pirates of the Caribbean 2 years ago. At this point, it took about 2 years for it to actually get into the game. Based off of that, the timeline works out for it to be another big expansion. They've been quiet on all fronts. We know that they want to do something. We know that we're going to the Sea of the Damned for the closure of the Briggsy Tall Tales or Adventures. Sorry, not Tall Tales, Adventures. Would it be outside of the realm to run into someone from Monkey Island that is the connection to the next big update? and that's why everything's been so quiet? Like, let's play in that space for a little bit. Like, what would you guys like to see if we could take a portal to a Monkey Island?
I want to see Captain Cake capsize in a glass bottom boat. just to see how long that lasts in a ship battle in the hourglass.
I wouldn't mind seeing like a different variation of LeChuck, to be honest, because we got like what, ghost, zombie, fire demon, undead pirate god. I wouldn't mind seeing a skeleton version of LeChuck, to be honest.
Ooh.
Because or maybe LeChuck could be the introduction of zombie pirates to Sea of Thieves.
Oh man, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, because technically Return to Monkey Island is the true third version of Monkey Island, so LeChuck in that game is still a zombie, so maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I could see that. It would be very interesting to see if Rare would actually entertain the idea of zombies. Because for all intents and purposes, we've got phantoms, we've got skeletons. I mean, just about every other type of undead thing is in Sea of Thieves. I could definitely see us pushing into zombie territory.
I mean, sorry to interrupt there, Regis. When you think about Pirates of the Caribbean and Barbossa and the whole crew that were cursed, I mean, they were pretty zombie-ish. You know?
Make sure zombies and skeletons. Sure.
They were skeletons, but they all had the sort of skin, and and they weren't completely skeletal, were they? They had flesh still on them.
It's such a weird thing, honestly, with that. Like, because I want to agree, but I also don't fully agree, because I appreciate the logic, because they did have skin, but they weren't dead. They were just cursed. And it wasn't until
it wasn't. I mean, I'm not sure. I suppose he was.
It wasn't like a reanimated corpse. Yeah. Barbossa was technically.
Yeah,
you're right about Barbossa. Yeah. The rest of the crew,
there were zombies in Pirates of the Caribbean. Just the officers of Blackbeard's ship, so could work.
That's true.
But, I mean, I just want to see like bloated corpses being like the zombie pirates answer the skeletons. Boom boom kegs, kegs with legs.
I would love to see zombies make an appearance. Like, get a new enemy type into the Sea of Thieves. I would love to have. Yeah. I would love to have
as long as they don't all spawn at the same time, because we have enough trouble with phantoms and ocean crawlers and skeletons all at the same time. You don't need zombies as well at the same time.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like they've gotten a little bit better. It hasn't been too egregious for me, at least. Been out and about, and I've been hunting them bullion crowns, so I haven't had too big a problem. But Regis, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, maybe to make up for the fact that they're slow moving zombie wanting brains. Maybe make up the fact that they're at least 2 or 3 dozens of the bloody things, just to make up for the fact that they're slow. A slow moving horde is. But then again, there's a debate of, should zombies be slow or should zombies be fast? I don't know. I don't want to get into that whole debacle.
I like both, honestly. I'm not going to lie. I actually like both. But it would definitely be... Because I feel like gold skellies right now kind of fit that bill of the slow, meandering enemy when they get...
Yeah, true.
So it would be like, it's just a different kind of flavor of the gold skellies. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the skellies themselves, they've done a really good job of kind of covering the different aspects. Like, you've got slow ones, you've got ones that are immune to hits. They've got ones that can regenerate
when.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's like they've done a good job with the skellies and stuff. It just happened that they're all skellies at this point. So. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the zombies are just in these tall tales, and there's no way for them to find their way to the Sea of Thieves, and that kind of keeps it separate, but still introduces something unique to it. What do you think would be the story for it, though?
What, just zombie pirates and Sea of Thieves?
Well, no, for like Monkey Island as a whole. Like, why bring that IP into the game? What story could you tell with Monkey Island? Because you two know Monkey Island way better than I do. So what would the story entail?
I haven't played a single game, but I know how much of a fantastic series it is. So, Mike, you might as well go, since you're the one who actually played the games.
Mike.
Well, I mean... the main story is pretty much always Guybrush trying to sort of win back Elaine one way or another. So
Yeah.
it's that, but I think for the purposes of Sea of Thieves, something different I think needs to happen, because every story has always been he's either lost her and he's going to, or he's going to rescue her, but she doesn't need it because she's already figured out how to escape and had a plan, and he just ruins it. Or he's certainly in the latest one, they're still there together, and he's off doing something else completely. So she's just there helping out, but finding out that what he's doing is pretty much cocking everything up as well. So it's always comes down to Guybrush screwing everything up one way or another.
Like how Jack kind of screwed things, like how Jack Sparrow kind of screwed things over by revealing the Sea of the Damned to the whole Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. I mean, that's something like that. Yeah, but at least a lot of the time, Jack tends to screw things up. It's almost deliberately. In a lot of instances, he does it because he knows that he wants somebody else to figure something else out, so he can take advantage of us. Whereas Guybrush just doesn't know what he's doing, and just fumbles his way through, and just pure luck tends to get him through in the end. I've
always thought that Jack had a plan, and he had a goal, but never a plan. Guybrush tends to have a plan. It's just so far behind where everyone else's plan is that by the time he gets there, it usually just disrupts what their plans are, which are typically the better plans. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong on that one.
No, you're spot on. Yeah, that's exactly the way it works.
So, but I'm open to them bringing in a Monkey Island themed expansion. I want to ask, do you guys think that Mike Chapman's desires to play in that space aside, do you think that Monkey Island is a big enough IP to warrant an expansion for like an Xbox showcase?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, good question.
It's big enough to get another game, so it must be fairly big. It must be big enough to, because I mean, we wouldn't have had Return to Monkey Island if there wasn't enough people wanting it.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it is, but will it bring in? It certainly won't bring in the crowds that Pirates of the Caribbean brought in. Unless they tie it in with Pirates of the Caribbean, and maybe that's the trade-off. Maybe Disney say, we'll give you Monkey Islands and we'll let you do what you want with it, but we want Jack, or we want somebody else from maybe another. Maybe they've got plans for the future to bring, say, Will Turner or something like that into the game, or into a film. And maybe that's they move him instead of Jack and set that up, and then later on, obviously, you get them all back together again in another expansion. I mean, we're going way ahead now, but
interesting.
We're reaching, but we're having fun while we're doing it.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because I think Disney have been a lot more understanding when it comes to wanting to touch Pirates of the Caribbean, that Jack Sparrow's kind of a must. And I know after talking with Mike that George and Rose were intended to be the supplanting for Will and Elizabeth. So maybe if Jack comes back, the adventure ties together with Monkey Island, but instead of it being Will and Elizabeth, maybe we push George and Rose to be kind of center stage on that, and instead of it being Guybrush and Elaine, it's George and Rose. Maybe
maybe I don't know, but I could just imagine the interactions between. I'm just going a little tangent here. I could just imagine the interactions between Jack Sparrow and Guybrush Threepwood, like two pirates from totally different universes and totally different reputation levels, just interacting. Guybrush Threepwood is a full breaking shenaniganry, courtesy of Ron Gilbert. And Jack Sparrow's, occasional drunkenness could just, annoy. They could just essentially annoy each other with how, unpredictable the both of them are. to the point where they're like, "What are you doing? Stop copying me."
They're both very headstrong, and I think it'd be really funny to see both of them trying to get their way in an expansion. Like, I could definitely see that being an entertaining prospect. Mike, what do you think?
Yep. Yeah. Like
the one thing Mike did say to us when we were talking about Monkey Islands in Sea of Thieves is he asked us, do we think that Guybrush is a big enough brand, a big enough name to be like a sort of Jack Sparrow in the game?
Mm-hmm.
If they put Guybrush into the game, would anybody know who Guybrush was apart from those of us who know what Monkey Islands is? And I think the answer to that was quite clearly no. Most people don't know who Guybrush is. Even if they've heard the name Monkey Islands, they've not necessarily heard the name Guybrush. So I could see if they were going to do it, they could see maybe LeChuck being the bad guy and the one that's causing the problems. But I could probably still see Jack being the one that's doing the setting the puzzles, setting the missions, talking to the castaway or Teodama, and working together, and Guybrush being there, maybe as a secondary character standing next to Jack or behind, or maybe he's where you go to sort of talk to, but I can't see Guybrush being the character that everyone sort of, has on the ship, who is following us around, or, but like Jack did on the Pirate's Life. So, yeah, I think it's going to be, I think it being a mix-up with Pirates of the Caribbean is probably more likely than a full Monkey Islands thing.
Yeah.
I do think that the main emphasis will be more, I do hope when you said before about maybe bringing the island, Monkey Islands into the actual game. It'd be nice to actually have a sort of an addition to the map to bring it in to be a place you can sail to, but that's not going to happen. It will just end up being like a Tall Tale where we just go through a portal and end up there. It's sad because I think all of us are ready for some more adventure. We've all learnt this map now. Every one of us knows exactly where we're sailing to, always. Well, it would be nice to have somewhere new where we don't know where we're going, a new series of maps.
You say that. Yeah, I don't disagree with you for the hardcore, but I mean I jump into Chenzo's streams from time to time at night, and that boy still doesn't know that map. He's the helm of anyone. The helm should know like where the islands are just based on location alone, not necessarily using the map. But
but even if you don't know where it is, there's still a map. You can still go. Even if you started the game today and it told you to go to Plunder Island or Bounty, Booty Isle or whatever, you can still just look at the map. Yeah. So it wouldn't make much difference to sort of the people who are just starting, because it'd just be a few more islands that are there that you've just got to find.
It would be. I am still hoping for the day when some of the world is expanded upon, but much like the Shores of Gold, it is kind of hidden away and has to be accessed via some sort of MacGuffin. Like there's some sort of MacGuffin in the game that you have to acquire or do, or thing that has to tie to it, that then gives you access to that area. Because I'm with you, man. Like I'm with you. Like I know islands. I know pretty much all of them. I've forgotten more about Sea of Thieves than most folks at this point that play it casually. So it's like I want to see fresh new introductions to the world itself, because I think when you shake up the world, I think that's when you really have some fun. We've seen that kind of with the Chest of Fortune. Like it's reintroduced a reason to go do the Fort of Fortunes. Stuff like that is fantastic. But there's something about having a new place to explore, which is what I think I really enjoyed when we've gotten the shrines and the sea forts. Those were smaller bits of content that as a whole were a real enrichment to the depth of the game, as far as like opportunities to go places and see things that you don't normally see. And it would be a bummer to have Monkey Island siloed off like that, but I think you kind of have to for performance reasons. So
yeah,
I'm with you on that one.
Because there's still people playing the Xbox One for whatever reason. I'm sure you can. PCs are getting expensive these days, and getting an Xbox Series X and S is like, it's easier now, but you know what I mean. Just upgrade just upgrade would be nice.
Yeah,
if you live in the UK, there's no excuse. They are everywhere. They seem to be. I can find one in every store. They're always on Amazon. They're always on the Microsoft Store. So when I hear people say that they can't find one anywhere, it makes me laugh, because it must be just a UK thing, because they're everywhere here. You can pick one up anywhere.
I mean, like those who just cannot for the life of them just upgrade their console just to better fidelity, better thing, and just for the inevitability of like just cutting support for the Xbox One version of Sea of Thieves, and then moving it on to like future generations. Because I think the Xbox One's like 10 years old at this point.
10 years old. It's 10 years old. It was 2013, so it was. I think it was the 10-year anniversary being announced the other day.
Yeah.
So it's now a few months off the 10-year anniversary of it actually being released. So yeah,
that's insane.
So,
and I get it for people who can't afford to upgrade. That's fine. I understand that. It's some of us are lucky enough to be able to afford it without worrying about it. But we shouldn't necessarily be held back by those people. Things do move on with not just gaming but everything.
I'm still very curious. I would still, and I know we have it's like a well-trodden path that we're getting down here on, but I do think that I think that the ability for them to develop the game does not get hindered as much as I think maybe we put weight into it for it still being supported on the Xbox One. Because I've seen, like on my computer, I've seen what cursed settings look like, and I can get 100 frames per second on my 7-year-old system if I turn the right settings on and in place. And so I know, like, even if my 7-year-old system is still capable of being able to run the game at a pretty decent frame rate with some dips, but still pretty decently, I would not be surprised if they're able to still keep it supported at lower settings for the Xbox One and Xbox One X and S for at least another 5 years. I think it would be insane, but I don't think it's impossible. I
would say that me and Chris Snipe 83, shout out to him because I know he'll be listening. We sail with a lad that's a friend of his called Freddie, and he has just upgraded from an OG Xbox One to a Series S, and it blew his mind the other day. The load times. Man. Walking around what was Golden Sands, Port Merrick now is smooth. The frame rate isn't all over the place. And he's made up with it. And even though like it's only a Series S and he's only getting sort of like 1080p, he was saying like even the graphics feel better than they were as well. So he's made up with it. So it's definitely a worthwhile upgrade. And definitely.
Did they maybe in because you two are in completely different regions, which I appreciate, because Regis, I'm curious, like, have you had any, because I know Black Friday's a pretty US centric thing, but I know it's kind of spread over to the UK as well. And I'm pretty sure that that Australia has it as well too. Like, you guys kind of still have like Black Friday deals and whatnot, right?
I mean, the only thing associated with Black anything is just bushfire seasons.
Oh, but you guys don't have like you guys don't have any like big sales around like the holiday season in December and November?
Well, there is, but we don't go around advertising it like it's the last thing you need to get before the end of the world kind of crazy thing that you Americans and Brits do.
Gotcha. Hang on a minute. Stop the show. This is weird. You probably haven't heard about this. yet, but believe it or not, Xbox Mike 29 decided to give his code for the Obsidian Eye of Reach pack. So again, you're going to get the sails, you're going to get the Eye of Reach, you're going to get the fishing pole. I hope you're ready. You can head over to redeem.microsoft.com, or just go over to your Microsoft store or into the Xbox. Go click redeem code. Here is your last code. It is GMF4T226TYP94JXKKTZ. Thank you so much to Xbox Mike 29 for giving up his code. He already had it, so he wanted to make sure that you all have it as well. You can claim this perk at any point, I think, before June 24th, 2023. Let's see. I think you can redeem it by July 1st, 2023. So you have until the beginning of July to do this. And once again, thank you to our patrons for helping provide these codes alongside myself, and to our sponsor, Ovaltine. Let's get back to the mystery or the speculation wherever I decide to put this in. Ooh. Okay, because I know, at least in the States, I was seeing, I think it was last year. Yeah, because it was like last year, the Xbox Series S was being sold for like $200 American, which was an insanely, it was like $100 off. It was like two-thirds of the cost of what it normally is. And I was just like, there's no reason to not buy one of these if you haven't upgraded yet at that point. Like it's cheaper than anything else out there on the market, and you're getting access to all of the new gen games on there. It's absolutely insane. So hopefully they do that again this year, and more people start to like pick one of these up. Cause I would imagine like even because my family-in-law, like my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, they bought like an Xbox 360 not that long ago, like a year and a half ago. And it was like, that was like their purchase, their new console system. And they didn't, like I didn't find out about it till after it was all said and done. Otherwise I would have happily have pushed them into, other consoles and stuff like that. I can't blame them for wanting to go with the 360 because it was a fantastic system. But I mean, that was like a couple of years ago at this point that they bought a 360 as their Xbox. And so, I mean, for folks that don't play games, don't keep up with it, don't keep up with the gaming cycles and stuff, it's almost impossible to make sense of the Xbox ecosystem as far as naming. It's not like PlayStation where there's like, which one's the newest one? Whatever the highest number is. Okay, I'll get that one.
We go Nintendo. What is the latest one that looks weirdest? What is the weirdest and wackiest one they have yet? That's Nintendo.
That's tough, man. There's some weird. Look at that N64 controller. That's a pretty weird one.
Yeah.
I was talking more about the Switch, but sure.
Well, you're saying like, what's the weirdest looking one? They've had some weird looking stuff in the past. The Switch is probably the most like a tablet than anything nowadays, which actually makes the most sense.
Yeah. Just imagine what they have next in the pipeline.
Who knows? It'll be completely different though. And then they'll resell you all the games that you already got on the Switch.
And for a limited time too.
Yeah, for a limited time. But I could definitely see like at some point most folks getting a chance to upgrade to the Series S. It's a fantastic console. I don't care what anyone says. It's little man's great. The one thing that I wanted to jump into, have you all done your Twitch drops yet? Because the Twitch drops are going from May 26th to May 29th. Have you gotten your next set of Eastern Winds gear?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, don't mind.
I know.
You gotta get it. Okay.
I'm doing it right now, all right?
Everything.
Okay, so for and this is a perfect time to bring it up because it is in the middle of happening right now. By the time you're listening to this episode, it'll have already been passed, but at least you can live with us in the moment on this wonderful Saturday. So currently there's 4 available. Again, you have to do the hour. You have to claim it before the next hour will start. You've got the Eastern Winds Ruby Compass. You've got the Eastern Winds Fishing Rod, the Eastern Winds Ruby Pocket Watch, and the Eastern Winds Ruby Spyglass. So variations of the red tone for the Eastern Wind stuff. I don't know about you guys. I'm ready for the next set. I don't know what the next set will be, but whatever it is, I'm ready for that. Like we had the Hunter stuff, we had the Morningstar stuff, we've got the Eastern Wind stuff now. I'm ready to move into whatever the next color variant of the Twitch drops is going to be. How are you all feeling about Twitch drops?
Yeah,
I think I prefer just going back to once every time because it just was 3 or 4 hours to get every single thing at once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I can't sit on my butt for I know you don't have to watch the whole thing and just do something else while you're waiting for it, but I don't want my butt can hurt a lot if I just sit around for doing nothing.
Oh yeah,
no. Do you want to tell them about auto drops, or should I?
I already have that. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah. In that case, I don't feel obligated. Throw up one of your favorite streamers. Walk away. Go sit outside. Yeah. Well, don't sit outside. It's cold outside. But find a nice warm place. Grab something fun to do and don't even give it a second thought. If you come back in 6 hours, just double check and see you got all of them. If you got all of them, bada bing, bada boom, you got your drops. You're good. You don't gotta worry about nothing. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I'm currently watching Fuzzy Pond, who's doing a 12-hour stream right now, but it's actually finishing at the moment. So next one.
Oh, I just missed out on the. It's funny because I pulled them up and I just missed out on the Serpent's Lie sales.
Ooh.
Drat.
Dang. I want them.
I know they're pretty. I want them, but you know what? It's fine. If I don't get them, it's not the worst thing in the world. I've got plenty of other sales that I love. Definitely something I'm keeping an eye out for. Did you all claim your Xbox perks for the Obsidian gear?
I own all the Obsidian stuff apart from the capstan. So until they give me that, I just don't care. Just give me the capstan. Stick it in the Emporium and put a £10 price tag on it and just give the money to charity if you want. But please, just give me the blooming capstan.
Oh, it's funny. So
before you ask, I'm doing it right now.
Doing it right now? Okay, good. All right. So for those of you that don't know, for Game Pass Ultimate members, there are perks that you get on a regular basis. Some of them are the Ori and the blind sale set that you can get. Sometimes it's Obsidian content. This time it's Obsidian content. You get the sales, the fishing rod, and what was the other one? Why am I blanking on that? I can see it in my head.
Is it the compass?
Is it the compass?
I can't remember now.
No, it's the sales spot out. I have reach, and the fishing rod.
I have reach.
Good. There we go. There we go. So those are available now. You have to be a Game Pass Ultimate member. You can subscribe and then cancel it if you'd like, but you are available to pick up those perks at any point. Doesn't matter when you sign up, as long as you sign up during the period that they're being offered, at which point they will be going away for an indeterminate time. Who knows when those are going to come back. But if you don't have Game Pass Ultimate, but you still want to get access to that, I will be putting in the codes for this. I'm going to be recording the different parts for 2 different codes, thanks to El Jefe Esteban, who graciously gave me his code because he too also has it.
Can I just chip in? I will give you one for me as well, so you can have 3.
That's awesome. So I'm going to be putting these codes in sporadically through the episode. So you may have already heard a couple codes and wondered, what is this going on? I'll give a little preface at the beginning of the episode for you to keep an ear out for them. There's no timestamps, so you just got to figure out where it is, and hopefully get an opportunity. The episode will go live at its regular time. And I've got 3 codes. Mine, Hefe's, and Mike is going to be giving me his. So those are going to be in the episode somewhere. Nebulous. You don't know where. You'll find it. When you hear it, it'll be really weird. But if you listen to it and you get that code and you get it redeemed, let me know. I'm really curious who got it. All right, gentlemen, it's been a fantastic episode. I've had such a good time chatting with you about Monkey Island, about the mystery, about Xbox, and whether or not we're going to ever move past the Xbox One era, or if it will linger on like an old dog that you have to take down to the vet.
Or an unpoppable zip.
Okay. That too. Yeah. We'll okay.
Sorry.
We'll go there if you really want to. I don't want to, but we can go there. Thank you for joining me on this episode. It is the Gold Hoarder community episode. This is episode 277. We are nearing in on that 300. Next week is going to be a wonderful interview with George Orton from the Sea of Thieves community, from the devs. And we're going to be talking about one big game.
Nice. Yeah.
So, gentlemen, Regis, I know you've been writing a lot of fanfic for My Little Pony and Sea of Thieves. Do you want to plug that real quick?
Well, not only that, but also one that is just arguably the most popular self-insert fanfic of all time. It's called This Bites, and I'll give you a little synopsis. Sea kings, seasickness, sunbirds, a 95% genocidal navy, and more than 1,000,001 other sort of ways to die. It's official. Being inserted into an anime sucks. Sorry. But I guess it could be worse. I mean, look on the bright side. At least I'm sailing with the future king of the pirates. And yes, it's a One Piece self-insert.
Okay.
Arguably the most popular self-insert of the internet that I've seen so far.
There you go.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, so there you go, Crossbrain. There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Xbox Mick 29. As you
slowly... I was really forced there. You had to really think about that.
Sorry.
As you're getting back into Sea of Tuesdays, as you're continuing with Wandering Dutch, creating content for the midweek mix up, what are some of the other things? What are some of the other places that people can find you, either working with community members in the Xbox community, or for Sea of Thieves in particular? Where can they find more of your content?
Yeah, you can find me obviously on Sea of Tuesdays, like you said, every Tuesday, with myself, Dutch, usually Chris, and pretty much regular is Mina, with Paddy joining in when we need him as well. So that's a couple of members of the Keelhauled crew that chip in towards, which is very appreciated. And also with Paddy and Mina on Sundays, I tend to play whatever Sightless Combat is wanting to play. I think this weekend we are playing some Sea of Thieves.
Nice.
So we've done a couple of weeks of Gears of War, and now I think we're going back for the seas this week. So yeah, so catch us there. And yeah, and just to chip back in, I did some more research. I can't find anything about Ramsey's first name, which is a little bit.
Are you Rathbone?
Sort of. Sorry, not Ramsey. Yeah, Rathbone's first name. It's a little bit weird, actually. I thought we knew it, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere.
Right.
I have messaged Mike Chapman, but I have a feeling at the moment that Mike is stum on everything on the basis that it might pertain to this hunt. So rather than put himself in any sort of situation, I think he's not answering anything.
Yeah, he's been quiet.
He has been quiet. I don't know whether you've noticed, but yeah.
Yeah.
I know you speak to him as well, and he's not replied to even some quite simple, unrelated questions. He's not replied to me. So
he's also been into Legend of Zelda too. So I would not be surprised if his evenings are playing around in Hyrule, because I think that's what everyone at Rare right now is doing. If they're not on vacation at Disney World, they're probably playing Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, because
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
I would be interested to know how many switches there are on people's desks at the moment.
Well, tune in next week because next week is the interview with George Orton, and we talk about Tears of the Kingdom and a little bit on there. We got into diving a little bit into Zelda and stuff like that. So, great episode. I had such a good time recording with him. Look forward to having him back in the future for other stuff and stuff. He's actually turned me on to some other stuff that I think I can't remember if it's recorded, but I don't know if I can talk about it. Anyway, more stuff to come in the future. Looking forward to it. And then right around the corner is obviously the Xbox showcase, and then Sea of Thieves, the Fest of Legends, and then the Sea of Thieves Fest in the UK. It's going to be a busy, insane summer. So hopefully you all are having a fantastic time, whether it be winter in the lower hemispheres or if it's summer in the upper hemispheres. Please take care of yourself, and we'll see you all next time.
Take care. Goodbye.
Bye.